All right, so we had to touch on this. Now
I can't believe it.
um we talked about J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar, the big three. Last week we did a topic where IDK, who's this lesser known rapper, said that the big three needs to retire. And that was in the wake of Kendrick Lamar jumping on a song with Future and Metro Boomin to renounce the big three because it's just big me. That's what Kendrick said. And I don't think it's a big secret. Kendrick Lamar has long since not been a Drake fan. So he used that song as an opportunity to go at Drake and go at J. Cole on this big three stuff. And people have been speculating, wondering, is Drake going to respond? Is J. Cole going to respond? When are we going to get the? Are we going to get the rap beef that we've been waiting so long for? And J. Cole responded. J. Cole, like a thief in the night, he released this. I guess it's an EP or I don't know what you consider it, but it's called like Might Delete Later, I think is the name of this thing that J. Cole put out. It's 12 songs long, and it contains what some believe are shots at Kendrick. The intro track has shots that people believe are aimed at Kendrick. There's a song that he has with Ab-Soul, where there are shots that people believe he is taking at Kendrick. And then he has the song on there, 7 Minute Drill, which people are clearly he's taking shots at Kendrick. And now J. Cole is apologizing for this. It didn't sit well with him that he recorded a response to Kendrick, and he wanted to walk the response back. He's now apologizing, saying that if Kendrick wants to, respond, his chin is out, and Kendrick is ready for
What?
him to take his best shot.
Oh my god.
So here's an article here. Kendrick J. Cole's annual Dreamville Festival in North Carolina recently concluded. J. Cole obviously is a performer at what is his own show, and during his set, he apologized to Kendrick for his response. So we're gonna play a little bit of that apology. Probably not gonna play the whole thing, but this here says J. Cole says he regrets Kendrick Lamar diss. The past 2 days felt terrible. J. Cole has expressed regret for releasing his Kendrick Lamar diss 7 Minute Drill while addressing the crowd during a headlining performance at his Dreamville Festival in North Carolina on Sunday, which was April 7th. The rapper placed the song last on his surprise new project, Might Delete Later, which arrived on April 5th. On the track, he responded to Lamar's guest verse on Future and Metro Boomin's Like That, where Lamar fired shots at Drake and J. Cole for designating him as part of the Big Three. I'm so proud of Might Delete Later, except for one part, said Cole. It's one part of that shit that makes me feel like, man, that's the lamest shit I did in my effing life, right? And I know this is not what a lot of people want to hear. So what we're going to do, okay, it looks like it's going to play. So what we're going to do is we're going to play Kendrick's apology. I mean, Kendrick. I keep saying Kendrick. We're going to play J. Cole apologizing for the diss and apologizing to Kendrick himself because this, J. Cole was clearly experiencing a tremendous amount of mental anguish over this, so much so that he wanted to kind of dial it back. Here's what J. Cole had to say in the midst of apologizing for the diss track and apologizing to Kendrick himself.
I've been happy. I've been moving on my own accord, off my own desires, my own wants. Now, why am I saying all of that? All of that shit led me up into this point. 10 years later, after this song, I'm here. Here I am. I've been just chasing my shit. You know what I mean? Like following my dream and just trying to like head to the fall off in the way that I wanted to do it. And so I put out this project on Friday called Might Delete Later. I don't know how many people done checked it out or whatever, but I put this project out. And I swear to God, I'm so proud of that project because I know one, it's just a lead up. It's just the EP that leads me up to this thing that I've been working on for a long time. And I know the work it took to get to a certain type of skill level. And I love this shit. So that shit mean a lot to me, right? I'm so proud of that project, except for one part. It's one part of that shit that make me feel like, man, that's the lamest shit I ever did in my fucking life, right? I know this is not what a lot of people want to hear. I know I can hear my niggas up there right now like, nah, don't do that. But I got to keep it 100 with y'all, right? I damn near had a relapse, right? Because y'all heard some shit that happened 3 weeks ago, however long it was. Y'all heard that bazooka that was dropped on the motherfucking game, right? You know, for the first time I was
Bazooka's
tested.
a
Why am I
strong
tested?
word.
Because I got the world and I got my niggas like, what you gonna do, Cole? My niggas like, boy, I must have had 1,000 missed calls. Oh my fucking God. Text flooded. I couldn't even answer my shit. Nigga, it's wartime. Boom, 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 right? Niggas want to see blood. And I was conflicted because, one, I know my heart, you know what I mean? And like, I know how I feel about my peers, these two niggas that I just been blessed to even stand beside in this game, let alone chase their greatness, right? So I felt conflicted because I'm like, bro, I know I don't really feel no way, but the world want to see blood. I don't know if y'all can feel that, but the world want to see blood. So I say all of that to say, in my spirit of trying to like get this music out, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I moved in a way that I feel spiritually feel bad on me. Like I try to like jab my nigga back and I try to keep it friendly. But at the end of the day, when I listen to it and when it comes out and I see the talk, that shit don't sit right with my spirit. That shit make me feel, that shit disrupts my fucking peace. So what I want to say right here tonight is, in the midst of me doing that and in that shit, trying to find a little angle and downplay this nigga's fucking catalog and his greatness, I want to say right now tonight, how many people think Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest motherfuckers to ever touch a fucking microphone? Dreamville, y'all love Kendrick Lamar, correct? As do I. So I just want to come up here and be like, publicly be like, bro, that was the lamest, like goofiest shit. And I say all that to say, it made me feel like 10 years ago when I was moving incorrectly. And I pray that God align me back up on my purpose and on my path. You know what I mean? I pray that my nigga really didn't feel no way. And if he did, my nigga, I got my chin out. Take your best shot. I'm gonna take that shit on the chin, boy. Do what you do. You know what I mean? Like, all good. Like, it's love. And I pray that, y'all are like, forgive a nigga for like the misstep, and then I can get back to my true path. Cause I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Past 2 days felt terrible. Like, it let me know how good I've been sleeping for the past 10 years. So all of that to say, man, I want to now perform the song that's a reminder to me of getting back on the right path and getting in tune with God. And the name of the song is called Love Yours. I want to do that for y'all right now.
It's tough. It's real tough.
What do you think about that?
Oh boy. I gotta tell you, man, this is wild. Off the top, disappointment, but I think I've said this on here before, but I'll reiterate. J. Cole's a very interesting person to me. When I first heard his mixtape, the first one, the Cole, I forgot what it was. I can't believe I forgot the name of it. The Cold Summer or Cold whatever, Cold Winter or whatever. And he snapped on that thing, and he was saying things on there that I literally thought. When there was certain songs, it was like, hey, this guy's like me. For whatever reason, bro, he's about 8-9 months older than me, and we literally think the same. It's the craziest shit ever. So when he was up there saying that, me personally, I know exactly where he's coming from. The bad part about it is that he's saying this in front of the world. And being that vulnerable in this game, it's not taken well. So the whole time it was playing, I'm over here cringing, man, because this is not part of the game. This ain't part of the game, bro. He's got two choices after this. Choice one is to Andre 3000 this. I don't mean just go play an instrument and stop rapping, but what he just did here was said that I'm not a rapper. That's basically what he said. I'm not a rapper. I'm not in the rap game. I'm not doing this. Don't put me in no pantheon. Don't do none of that. That's literally what he said. So he has to go somewhere else with this, with his career. So I'm pretty sure this project that he's working on that this was leading up to, that's already set in stone. But I'm talking about for the next one, man, he's going to have to come at this from a completely different angle than, I'm a rapper. Because if he comes at this thing as if I'm a rapper, it's on his resume. This is the wildest thing ever. Apologizing? Well, and then the narratives that's going to get spent from this is that he was too scared, he backed down, he whoop-de-whoop. But I'm gonna tell you this is what I think that was going on in his head, much like how he was saying on stage, was that I like Kendrick, I like Drake, I want to work with Drake. What's going on? And then here comes Kendrick in here, letting off shots, and like he said, the world, his peers, everybody's like, what you gonna do? Cool thing about J. Cole is I really feel like he does the majority, if not all, of his writing. It's not easy to write good songs. And he's not a beefing type of rapper, so it's not going to be easy for him to come up with beef bars, especially if it's not coming from a genuine place of disdain. So he forced it. He shot the ball too early, didn't have his feet set, and it was an ugly looking shot. He said once the internet saw it and he got the feedback, he felt crazy. It's like, yeah, bro, you rushed the shot. You were wide open. Now everybody see what Drake doing. He's staying quiet. He's galvanizing the troops. A war room full of writers, and he's gonna attack strategically. J. Cole, being his own man, feeling like, hey, I gotta respond, within X amount of time, lest this isn't valid as a disc. I don't want to seem like I was sitting on this. Let me come right back at him, and it failed. When I heard it, it was too much, implied death with some of his bars. Like shooting, like popping, like not he's going to shoot, but lyrically or something, he's going to pop you. And it was just like, hey man, it's kind of weak. And so, he went to the whole week, analyzed it, and he said he felt like he did something that he would have done 10 years ago when he was trying to make it in the game. He felt that pressure all over again. Hey, what you gonna do? What you gonna say? And he felt that, and he felt obligated, and he forced himself to do something outside of himself, like how he first did after his mixtapes, and he got his first album. He started to change a little, and so he don't want to go back to that. That's where Freeform Locks J. Cole come from. That's where him wearing regular clothes J. Cole come from. Is him, rebelling against that spirit of I have to be on to be in the game. He sat there, he responded from the stimuli, and then he went back to himself like, hey, that's not my thing. And if God's got a path for me, then this is going to wash over, and I'm going to still have the impact that I wanted to have on a microphone. So y'all can have this who's the best rapper thing. Kendrick's my dog. And, to me, on a human level, that makes sense. But when you're dealing with all these rappers, bloggers, and everybody else in between, they're going to look at this as him acquiescing. He defeat all this other jumbo stuff. But that's the part of the game that needs to change anyway. So long-winded there, but I feel as though J. Cole is in a different type of lane as a thinker as a philosopher in life, and he went the wrong way. He felt the obligation. He recants on that and say, "Hey, man, I'm sorry." But the stick the chin out thing, it's like, "Hey, bro, you're putting on a little thick here." I don't, but him saying that take your best swing. I'm not going to retaliate because I'm not doing that part of the game no more. So, what are your thoughts, sir, on Sir J. Cole apologizing to Kendrick Lamar? Is he ducking the smoke?
Yeah, I feel tremendous. I feel disappointed
Yes.
because the thing about this stuff, and here's where life and art intersect.
Mhm.
And this is one of the ways in which we can clearly see that this rap music has jumped the shark and it has moved from being an art form to being life. This is one of the areas in which we can picture this because historically the music has been competitive.
Mhm.
And so this is just the spirit of competition. Like it's not personal. Kendrick didn't say anything personal in that song on that Future and Metro thing. Kendrick didn't say nothing personal. It was a rap beef type verse. It was a competitive thing.
Mhm.
And to J. Cole's point, his response was also not personal. It was him responding in the spirit of competition.
Mhm.
None of it was personal. It's not like when Jay-Z admitted the Jay-Z, like years and years ago, back when Jay-Z and Nas had their whole thing. Jay-Z got to a point in which he said it became too uncomfortable because it became personal, right? So Jay-Z did that super ugly song talking about how he skeeted in the baby seat in the back seat and how
Yeah.
he smashed Nas's baby's mom. So at that point, it's becoming personal.
Mhm.
Like you don't at that point, you jump the shark on this thing. You become too personal. It's a little too much at that point. But this didn't rise to that occasion. This was becoming, because it didn't even really start. It was becoming a competition thing. But I think with J. Cole, he was experiencing like this internal discord because rap today has sort of elevated from being like art and entertainment to being like life. And he knows that the streets and people who listen to his music probably consume it as life. And so he probably doesn't want his music, which he understands is largely consumed as life, to be misconstrued with tremendous negativity. And so as a result, he kind of had this dissonance going on and he felt like it was too much and he needed to apologize. And I'm disappointed that he felt that he had to take that measure because at the end of the day, it's music and it's competition. This to me strikes me as when NBA players today are in the heat of battle and they want to win the game real bad. And then they lose the game and immediately start hugging the opponent and talking about what they finna do to hang out that night after they just got finished playing this game. Like, obviously, I come from a previous generation. So, I could never hug and be like, hey, what's up? What we doing after the game? If I just lost to these guys. Like, I'm not built that way. If we was just in the throes of competition and I just lost the game, I'm not going to be dapping you up and having these friendly conversations with you on the court. If I need to shake hands to show sportsmanship, fine. But I'm going to the locker room. I'm going the other way. I'm not going to be keying it on the court with y'all. But a lot of what alienates today's fans when it comes to the NBA is it seems sometimes like these guys don't really care because as soon as the game is over, win or lose, they laughing it up and yucking it up with these dudes.
Swapping jerseys.
Yeah, swapping jerseys, covering their mouths as they have these private conversations, talking about whatever IG model they just shared with one another, or talking about what they finna do, where they finna go hang out at whatever club or place they finna hang out together, after the conclusion of the game. And of course, I hate that because I want to see the spirit of competition be upheld, but obviously that is an ideal that is slowly dying because no one cares about that stuff anymore. Everybody's rich. Everybody's eating. Everybody's a social media superstar. Everybody's getting to the bag. So who cares about competition, right? That's what this felt like to me. It's like competition is over with. So let's just all be friendly and kiki it up and yuck it up and just enjoy life and be on some positivity stuff. Beef isn't inherently negative, it's competition. Beef is not any more negative than two teams playing against each other on a basketball court or two teams playing each other on a football field. It's competition. That's all it is. So for Cole to say that he felt this type of way, so much so that he needed to apologize, kind of tells me that he has sort of allowed himself to be indoctrinated with this current code of this music where there's no room for competition because any competition is largely perceived as negative. And since this music is no longer about art and entertainment and it's more about life, we can't be negative because we don't want to perpetuate negativity through this music, which people largely perceive to be life.
Mm-hmm.
And I fundamentally disagree with that because I think this is about competition. So to me, I just didn't like it. It sucks. And I don't know if you ever heard the Johnny P's Caddy song with Benny the Butcher, J. Cole, but just play a few of the bars from J. Cole's verse on that song. On the night I was born, the rain was pouring, God was crying, lightning struck, power outage, sparks was flying. The real ones here, the young boy that walked with lions around the outlines of chalk where the corpse is lying. Of course, I'm trying to revive a sport that's dying, but the guns and the drug bars that y'all relying got these nerds thinking that you niggas hard as I am, but that's just mean. But that just mean I ain't as comfortable as y'all with lying, stretching the truth. No, I never stress in the booth. They feel the stressor, they feel the pressure. Me, I feel like I just left the masseuse. Effortless. How I'm skating on these records is proof. I put your favorite rapper neck in a noose, never letting them loose. So somewhere along the way, J. Cole went from that to I need to apologize to this guy because it hurt my heart. I don't know, man. I didn't like it. I thought that we were on the way to getting some healthy, competitive rap beef stuff. But I guess in this day and age, there's no more room for competition because it's all about real life and all of this other kind of stuff. And sports and music really do kind of imitate and mirror one another because I despise this just as much as I despise these NBA players who are friends and shake hands after a game. It can even be a finals game, deep playoff games, finals games. The game is over, they lost, and they getting ready to hang out in about an hour. And it's like the game never happened. And I'm not really built for that. But I guess it is what it is. I guess I'm old. And J. Cole has successfully adapted to the current climate where there is no longer room left for competition because it's all about, everybody just being happy go lucky and friendly with one another. And we don't need to compete because what's the point of that?
Yeah, that's fair. I'll push back a little bit on the Jay-Z stuff. So, as far as my understanding, how that whole thing went down, Jay was already sending sneak disses and slick shots before he did Takeover, and it was geared towards Nas's baby mama. I heard, is that your chick? I heard that was towards Nas. My thing is, Jay-Z was always making it personal. And then he wanted that spot. He wanted that spot at that time. Biggie was gone, so the only other giant at that time was Nas, and he wanted that. So to me, it was one could say it was competition. To me, I felt like for Jay, it was personal. And then Nas's Ether was personal. Now that I listened to it again as an adult, and I already know the stories of everything, Ether was personal. Axe Dame Dash, they hated that song, and but it and which made Jay act out of pocket to say those ridiculous bars that you mentioned, and it got out of control. And Jay took one on the chin, if you ask me. But same thing with the whole Tupac and Biggie thing. And you know, after Tupac was robbed and shot in New York, you know, not too long after that, Biggie makes a song "Who Shot You." That's personal to Tupac. So eventually he makes, you know, "Hit 'Em Up." That was personal for Bad Boy and them. Axe Diddy, they still hate that song. So beefs historically, the ones that were notable, pretty large, they were pretty personal. It was more than just competition of who's got the slickest bars. I think what we've been seeing in the latter years, we've been seeing commercialized beefs where it's clearly really no beef. It's clearly nothing really personal. These people are just going back and forth for the engagements. I think what J. Cole did in this instance was that he stepped into a field, like that's why I feel like that's why he said he was in a space where, you know, he was 10 years ago. And basically that's when he was a knucklehead. That's when he joined, you know, Rock Nation, and he was becoming a celebrity. He was doing the stuff. He was at the parties, he was doing all the things, and he hated that. He completely left that image behind and everything else behind with that. And so he doesn't want to do that part of the game anymore. So it doesn't mean he doesn't like rapping, he don't like hooping no more. You know, he just don't like when he's playing against people and they're fouling him because they, you know, and all this other stuff. And I just want to hoop. And honestly, I don't see anything wrong with that. So that's why I said, by him making this stance, he's going to have to go the Andre route, in the sense of, look, I'm not doing this for the same reasons why y'all do it. Y'all see, y'all doing this to compete. Y'all doing this to be against one another or whatever, whatever. I'm doing this to make poetry to change lives. And so I'm not trying to beef with nobody. And so when he heard himself beefing with somebody on wax, he heard something in himself that he knows that he ain't that no more. And I feel like a man is entitled to grow. It's just wild that it had to happen like this, that he had to have the post nut clarity in order to go, you know what, I apologize, I ain't mean to do that. And I'm sorry, y'all, you know. And so this ain't no, you know, I really don't think it's a thing where he don't feel like he can compete with Kendrick. I really feel like if he came out with this and it was a smashing hit, he wouldn't have apologized. But since it wasn't a smashing hit, he kind of felt forced. It was just all these elements. He said, man, I don't want to do this like this. Last thing I'll say, somebody like myself who is an artist, I like to do art things, but I don't like art under the pressure. It removes the fun of the art. Whenever somebody is being, whenever that person is being inspired, it comes from another place. Sometimes you got to be sitting in a space of nothingness in order for it to come. But when everybody's hitting up your phone, hey man, what you gonna say? What you gonna say? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Hey man, hey, he said this. You're gonna have to say something slicker than that. Then that ruins the whole process of how I decide to write something down on paper. So that's what I'm saying. Drake then got to go through this. He's got a team of writers to handle this for him. So J. Cole's just a little too real for this beef, a little too real for this industry. And he gave a real thing. And that's him. That's his stance. And he wanted to apologize. It's just wild because I had that cap on of this is a competitive sport. And even if that's how you feel, bruh, you know, I'm pretty sure there was some art of war tactic that you just failed right there by explaining your whole insides to the world. So that's the part about it where I felt like he should have saved this. But be that as it may, he's a different breed, and he's gonna have to step into that different breed energy to not make this look like a loss and make this look like something that a brave man would have done in a social climate where everybody's telling him that he's got to rip Kendrick's head off. So yeah, man, I empathize for J. Cole, as crazy as it sounds.
It didn't last long enough for there to be a winner or loser on his, like it hasn't even, it's been like 2 weeks, so it hasn't lasted long enough for there to be a declared winner or loser either way. I'm just not buying. I don't completely buy all that because I've lost count of the amount of songs that I've heard J. Cole on in which he's flexing. about how I just read a verse where he said he's going to put your favorite rapper's neck in a noose. Like, I've lost count of the amount of verses and bars that I've heard of J. Cole where he's being competitive. So it's like, you can't be competitive until the point in which the competition comes and then say, oh, now I don't want to be competitive. That's my whole thing. Like, if he does what you're suggesting and he just goes the artisanal route, where now it's like, I'm just above board gonna be this non-competing rapper type guy, where now it's just all about growth and love and whatever. But he cannot, what he's been doing literally up until this moment is competitive rapping. That's been his whole career. Even after he stopped being corporate and grew his hair out and started wearing regular clothes and riding bikes in North Carolina, he's still doing competitive rap. He's still doing competitive rap. He's still rapping about how he's better than your favorite rapper, how he got more skills, and all his whole game really is introspection and competitive rap, minus an actual opponent. So what it looks to me is, as soon as there is an opponent, now it's like, I don't want to do this anymore. And it's like, okay, bro, like, and I'm not trying to I like J. Cole, so it's tough. I'm not trying to criticize him, but at the end of the day, most of what I hear from him is competitive bars.
No,
that's most of what I hear from him.
But that's what I'm saying. And that's why I say he's got to go another route. Like, after this, he's got to go somewhere else, because he can't come back to this because of what you're saying. Because it's like, bro, you just literally ducked smoke, like, 2 weeks ago or 2 months ago or 2 years ago, and now you're sitting here talking about you're one of the best in the game. Like, what game? You just opted out.
Yeah.
So I agree, bro, but he's gonna have to change.
That's my whole thing. It's like, okay, that's all well and good, but you can't continue to go back to your individual music and you flexing on rap. Now, I give, it's not like he's doing the typical, garbage rap. He's not doing what Drake does, right? He's not talking about how he's gonna have sex with the mother of my children. Right. And he's not talking about how he's going to take my wife away from me and how he's just better than me because of how much money he has. He's not doing what Drake does. But at the end of the day, we all have our shtick. And J. Cole has lived off of competitive rapping. That's been the tone of his style his entire career, even after he started growing his hair out, like I said. So it's like, you can have the longest dreads in the world, bruh. But when I hear your songs, you're talking about this stuff. How you killing these rappers and how you better than all of these rappers, and that's what his thing is. That's his style. And I've always appreciated it because skill-wise, he's near the top. But when there's an actual opponent that shows himself, even if it is somebody who you admire or who you're cool with, it's kind of hard to go this route and then go back to doing all the competitive rhymes, because then it starts to, because now what it's starting to look like, if you do that, is now you just look like a cherry picker. Now you're the guy who doesn't play defense but gets the cherry pick points at the end of the court because you didn't get back on defense. Because now you want to be able to cherry pick your opponents. Like, that don't look good either. So for his sake, I hope you are right and that he does permanently switch it up. Because if he goes back to being Cole World, rapping about how he's the best rapper in the game and these competitive bars, to me is just gonna look kind of silly. It's gonna look silly.
Hey, bro, facts, man. I wish it was. That's why I was shaking my head the whole time. I just really wish he didn't do this. I mean, he would have left himself so much leeway. And if it got to the point to where consensus, down the line, 2 years from now, everybody go, J. Cole lost this. It wouldn't have stung as much as him saying all of this. And so he's got to go the Gandhi route, bro. He's gotta go over there. Because, yeah, like you said, bro, he can't call nobody out about how he a better MC when you say you quit. It's tough, bro. That's tough. So hopefully God does have something in plan for this man, because he just took a bold leap right there. I really feel like he should have, like you said, hey, man, my people right now probably saying, bro, don't say it. Yeah, don't say it, bro. He's emotional right now, man. So shout out to J. Cole, man. Wishing you the best, bro. But you're going to have to go the 3K route, bro. I'm sorry. 3K route.
I mean, I thought the songs were good. Personally, I was like, yeah, this is good stuff. Because I mean, skill wise, the guy is just he's on another level in terms of skill. To me, out of them three, he's the best one, in my opinion. But you know, his whole shtick has been competition rap. So it's kind of hard to now say you don't want to do competition when your whole style's been competition rap. I can't wrap my mind around that.
Yeah, that's a tough one.